Welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Sicaran in plastic. So recently I brought up a topic. It was a little bit controversial. Some people received it well, other people were extremely defensive of it and told me that I was wrong and had no proof. And obviously that topic is Forge World going to slowly get absorbed back into GW, and all of the new Forge World stuff is going to be made into plastic? And I think the answer is yes. But that being said, before we jump into it, make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, and of course some HORUS Heresy content as well. Anything from reactions, reviews, news, painting, modeling, and conversion tutorials. So obviously I brought this up. We saw the new HORUS Heresy stuff is coming over to the plastic line. And I think it's just a matter of time before they bring everything over. And obviously they have created some new things that are coming in plastic, like the new HORUS Heresy box set and some of the new tanks and everything they've revealed so far. And now we see here they are redoing the Sicaran in plastic, which is absolutely awesome because I love this tank. It is super cool. And I have a feeling we're going to see more and more of this as they transition away from the resin and the casting and probably try to eliminate some of their own costs with all of the stuff that has to do with Forge World, and then just roll that into the main GW line. That is my theory. We'll see over time if we continue to see plastic and these models moving away from Forge World and into GW. I think we're going to start to see this a main trend, and that I was in fact right. So let's take a look at the plastic Sicaran as it speeds into action. Unveiled the sleek new Kratos tank for Warhammer, the HORUS Heresy at Warhammer Fest. Now it's time to present its little brother, the Sicaran, which is coming out in plastic for the first time. So obviously this is currently a Forge World kit in their range, and now we're about to see it in plastic. And I suspect it will be pretty much the exact same tank, maybe some minor changes to it. We'll watch through this kind of one time, and then we'll go back and take a look at the article, make sure there's some nice pictures and everything. But man, I mean, this thing looks so good. This is probably overall aesthetically my favorite tank. I really like the giant Primaris tank as well, but this thing is just great. I mean, it's sort of like the cross between, a Land Raider and a Predator. A little smaller, obviously, but it's super quick. Has some really nice weaponry, like potential options for it. Those like autocannons were awesome previously. Heavy bolters or las cannons on the side. Such a nice looking tank. I mean, the overall just aesthetic of this thing is just awesome. I love this. I would 100% be picking this up. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. And then you're probably going to have to get Big Brother as well. So very, very cool. So let's scroll down here and take a look at the actual article. Oh yeah, plenty of pictures, I'm sure. So originally designed by Rabute Guleman and Ferris Manis, the Sicaran featured elements from a number of STCs to create a high-speed destroyer tank to complement the Predator and Land Raider. Thanks to its incredible speed, it can outflank slower vehicles and bring accelerator autocannons to bear on the weaker side and rear armor of enemy war machines. So here we see the autocannons, and then obviously las cannon side sponsons. It has a heavy bolter in the hull, and then obviously you can swap those out for heavy bolters as we saw as well. Really nice looking kit. I mean, it has basically the exact same aesthetic as the Forge World kit, just in plastic, which means it's going to be much more user friendly for like assembly and painting, which is huge because their resin, it's also like the resin. I'm not a big fan of it, especially on like long weapons, barrels, guns, stuff like that, because it's so much more likely to just snap, and you're not going to have that happen with the plastic. Beyond the giant autocannon, this new plastic kit comes with more weapons than you can shake a stick at. You can choose from heavy bolters, las cannons, heavy flamers, or volkite culverins as sponson weapons. And there's a choice of combi weapons, a havoc launcher, a multi-melta, a heavy bolter, or heavy flamer as pintle-mounted weapon. So the fact that it has the havoc launcher tells us it's probably going to be for, you'll be able to use this either way, for good and bad. But obviously we see some of the other options as well. Again, very, very cool. Super good looking aesthetic. With so many options, you can build the tank of your dreams to start blasting your way through the deluded followers of the War Master, muling lackeys of the Emperor in no time. What's more, you'll also be able to use a new Sicaran in your games of Warhammer 40,000. It already has a profile which can be found in the Warhammer 40k, the app, and it can be deployed both by Loyalist Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines. So very, very cool. It does already have points and rules and everything in 40k. The accelerated autocannon used to be pretty awesome. Now it's okay, but still very fun. I'm not sure if all the other weapon options are going to be applicable. I don't know if you can take some of the other ones on the sides. I honestly would have to go back and look at the data sheet, but I mean, this is just an absolutely great looking tank. But most importantly, not only is this awesome, and I'm super excited and definitely will be picking this up, and again, I would expect it probably around Land Raider prices, around like $95 or something like that. This is a beautiful kit, and if this was available in plastic previously, I would have probably already owned a couple of these. But because it's only Forge World resin, I have passed on it. I did have one actually a while ago, but the truth is, this is just an absolutely beautiful tank. But most importantly, this is immediate confirmation of what I suspected and what we talked about in that video, which is Forge World is probably going away, which is great. I think that's awesome because Forge World is definitely not, it's not good for Games Workshop as a company in general. It's expensive to run. It's a whole nother location where they have to basically like manufacture and do all this stuff. And then they have their own employees, their own customer service, which is terrible. They have their own quality control, which is terrible. You get your stuff in the mail. You paid twice what you pay for a Games Workshop kit. And then it shows up and the panels are warped in half. And you have to use like heat and all kinds of other techniques to try to like flatten them out and get things to fit right. And it's just not good. It's not a good look for anything. So this is a great decision, in my opinion, on G-Dub's part. You basically just roll Forge World back into the main company after you create the majority of the stuff from the line, and then you can slowly roll back in extra things if you need to along the way. But I mean, think about how many more Primarchs they would sell if the Primarchs were in plastic. And I think it's realistic to think that it's just a matter of time before they make all of the Primarch kits either completely remade or at least made, similar but in plastic instead. That's huge sales right there. And then there's so many other like super cool kits that are Forge World only that would sell extremely well. And then that doesn't even get into the real, main thing I think is, obviously right now we're seeing there is like literally a whole black market, mini war tabletop game industry, international too. So everybody buys all these Forge World, or all these recasters buy all these Forge World models and then recast and sell them. And, theoretically, if these kits are going to be cheaper because they're offered through Games Workshop in plastic, it might not be worth it anymore for these recasters to be recasting and reselling all of this stuff. So, maybe it will kind of kill that industry a little bit as well, which is obviously something I'm sure Games Workshop is after. So regardless, I think we're definitely seeing a change. I think it's a good change. It's going to bring down the price of anything that comes from Forge World into Games Workshop, more in line with Games Workshop's already high prices, but much more realistic than like Forge World stuff. So, I don't know. I didn't go check it or anything. I know there's a bunch of different variants available for this tank, but I want to say if you buy this tank, you're going to pay, probably like $200+ for it from Forge World. So if this goes down to price of a Land Raider, it's going to be like, $95, half the price. So I think that's great. And, plastic is better anyway. So when it's all said and done, I think there's an awesome, awesome change. I am super excited for this. I hope that they come out with some variants later on with the other like turrets available, etc. I'm definitely excited to see them come out with some of the other, dreadnoughts, vehicles, Primarchs, etc. in plastic as well. So, but that's it. Let me know what you think down below. Is Forge World going away? Am I just assuming and I'm completely wrong? Is it just a coincidence that all of a sudden all of, Forge World is obviously known for 40k and Horus Heresy stuff, but it's probably a pretty good blend of the two. As where Games Workshop previously didn't really do anything Horus Heresy, and now we've seen a couple characters, we've seen all the new tactical marines, the upgrade sprues, the dreadnought, the terminators, the what else we have, the other big tank, this tank. So I think this is definitely, they probably have been working on this stuff for a while, and that may explain some of what's been going on at Forge World as well. And this is just the beginning of what's to come. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. But it looks to me like Forge World is on its way out, and we're just watching it happen in slow motion. So let me know what you think of the Sicaran. Let me know what you think of my theory about Forge World. And obviously make sure to like and subscribe. If you're into Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, warcry content, pretty much anything to do with reaction, news, reviews, painting, modeling, conversion, tutorials. But that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.